All right, we're back again. Back again for the second episode of the Soft Compound podcast, coming off the Japan Grand Prix. It was definitely a crazy one, super eventful. A lot of shit happened, so I wanted to hop on here and just do a quick one, let you guys know. It was definitely one of the hardest sporting events I've ever had to watch.
Time was just absolutely nuts. Like it's asking a lot of your U.S. fans.
Yes.
When it's this time frame, like it's a lot.
Especially for us, we're on the East Coast in the U.S. It's a 12-hour time difference from Japan. So if it's
switch the AM and the PM.
Yep, right. It's 2 a.m. here. It's 2 p.m. in Japan. And fuck, dude, it this weekend and last weekend. Oh my god. It's like you wake up at 1 a.m. or whatever. You stay up until 1 a.m. and then you're peeling your eyes open to watch the race start, and then it's delayed for 2 hours, and it's like. It's a lose-lose battle. You're not winning.
There's no nap between that.
No, because you fall asleep, you're not waking up. If you're like us, anyway. But yeah, it just kind of became more apparent than ever that Formula One is not tailored to the American fan. A lot of the the commentary are all talking about how everyone's waking up early, and it's like, dude, it's 2 a.m. for us here. Like, you know what I mean? Like the commentary was clearly not aligned. So it was just kind of funny watching that because you're not used to seeing something that's just like. Totally not relatable. Like they're talking about something that was just totally not relatable to me. And they got a little taste of what we usually have to deal with, waking up at
for sure
6 a.m., 7 a.m. for
only fair.
Practice sessions. Yeah, it's only fair. Exactly. So race start time ended up being 1 a.m. For us, and as Joe already kind of hit on, the delays were killer. Everything I think ended at around 4:30. It was like kind of when I was half asleep on the couch watching Max kind of figure out if he was world champion or not. And yeah, so leading up to next year, I'm definitely gonna have to plan ahead and like change my sleeping schedule a little bit for these two.
Or just go.
Or yeah, we should just go to that part of the world.
It fixes the whole thing. You don't even have to go to the race. You just gotta go to Japan and you're fine.
Let's just go to that part of the world for a few weeks and we'll be okay.
Yeah, just get there a couple days before, get your sleep schedule aligned.
Yes, sir.
Anyways, though, the race.
Yes, let's get into the race. Yeah, so if you watched the race, there wasn't too much. There was couple laps and we had the red flag due to rain, but a lot of shit happened, especially on the first lap, first turn. So another poor start for Max. He kind of just got bogged down at the beginning. So in Singapore, he like damn near anti-stalled. So he didn't do that, but Leclerc definitely got ahead. He pulled ahead. Max started on pole. And as they're going down into turn one, Max took the outside line, kind of was late into the braking zone and, was able to keep his lead going out of turn one. But yeah, the start was chaotic for sure. The spray,
the spray is ridiculous. I just can't imagine that. Having to deal with that. Like, it's one thing when you're driving on the highway and you're like, my windshield wipers aren't going fast enough. Yeah. All right, let's take the windshield wipers off, make you go about 100 miles an hour faster. Yeah. And you're competing.
Yeah, and your windshield's this tall.
Yeah, it's just not going to be a comfortable situation, let alone really a safe situation for the drivers. But we'll get into that with the FIA mistakes that happened this weekend. But
incredibly dangerous weekend. A lot of dangerous scenarios that were the FIA's fault, and some, were just,
some reminiscent of events in the past, which is scary.
Super
you don't
scary.
Want that.
Yeah,
and we'll get into that as well.
I was going to say we're definitely going to touch on that. Definitely going to touch on
foreshadowing.
Right. But yeah, so getting into the race, like I said, chaos at the start. Vettel spun out. He kind of had contact with Alonso. No one can really see anything, though. Sainz crashes. He kind of aquaplaned, crashed into the wall. We'll touch on that as well, as that was kind of a big event. It led into a lot of things.
The debris that hit Gasly.
Yep. Yeah, Gasly was pissed due to that and due to other reasons that you kind of just foreshadowed. So, like I said, we're getting into that as well.
Wasn't his day.
It wasn't his day.
It's not his day.
Not his day. He had we'll get into that.
Yuki though.
Yeah, Yuki had a really good start. So just to give you a little background, some drivers, like if you're kind of a mid-pack driver, kind of in the back, a wet race presents a lot of opportunity. Alonso and Vettel are sliding off the track and making contact and shit. Yuki was able to make it up from P13 to P9, which is great.
It's awesome.
Which is awesome. Moving on a little bit. Stroll had an awesome start. So I don't know. Lance Stroll gets a lot of hate, probably because he's just a rich kid. And
his father,
His father, he's in Formula One. He has a guaranteed seat in Formula One because of his father. He had an awesome start. He took this, like, crazy inside line that he ended up finding, like, a dry part of the track. Like, it was literally, like, I don't know. No other driver clearly saw it except for him because he darted right over to it, took the inside line. I don't know how many places he gained, but it was a really good start for him. And like I said, I'm kind of gaining a little respect.
Yeah, and for the rich daddy's money kids in F1 or guys, I mean, it kind of is going to help separate Stroll from Latifi. Not to point fingers or anything, but it's cool to see a little bit more skill out of those guys. You know what I mean? Because obviously, as much money as their family has that gets them into those situations, you still got to be able to drive the car, but
100%.
You got to also be able to drive the car well, and Stroll's showing that he can do that, so that's cool.
He's doing
and that's like race knowledge too, like that race IQ, and I think that Latifi, let alone last weekend, just proved again that he has no idea what he's doing.
Yeah,
but regardless, we're not talking about that currently.
Yeah, I mean, we can touch on that for a second because he literally went the wrong way on
Is that
track.
picture that you posted legit?
Which one?
It's Lando Norris, Verstappen.
Oh, no. It's
okay. I won't even get into that because that was funny. I thought that was real, Jared, and I was like, that's got to be embarrassing for Latifi, but never mind. It's irrelevant to
I mean,
what we're talking about. But go check out the Soft Compound Twitter and scroll through. You'll find it. You'll laugh.
Yes, that was bad. That was bad. But yeah, so like I said, to cap off that part, Stroll, I'm definitely gaining a lot of respect for him. Like you said, that was good race IQ. I feel like driving IQ to be able to take that line. He's racing alongside Sebastian Vettel, too, legend of the sport, God in this game. So that probably helped him a lot. And then we got red flagged on turn 2. So race was kind of delayed from there for like damn near pretty much 2 hours. I think it was over 2 hours. Brutal. Sleep took over from that point.
And for the people who don't, you might be tuning into this just new to F1, not really familiar, but like just in perspective, imagine it's Monday night. You waited all day for football, 8:20 p.m. kickoff, and a bunch of bullshit happens, and it's like, all right, now we're kicking off at 10:20, and you got to work at 8.
It's just like
you just aren't. It's tough, and it's really just not the best situation. But that's like the best comparison.
That's a really good comparison. It's a really good comparison.
Because regardless of not needing to wake up the next day, I think it all evens out with falling asleep at 5 versus falling asleep at like 2.
100%.
And it's just not.
Well, because like you said, like once you're getting to like 3, 4, 5.
What are you going to do the next day?
What the fuck is my day now?
Next day?
Exactly.
You're going to sleep till 1. Like you were up at like 8:30 and like. You're dead. Like just dead. Like, oh man, I'm so beat, so tired, and like I was just like, damn, dude.
I mean, yeah, I know. This weekend, I mean, that was took over my life for this weekend for sure. Okay, so moving on to a couple of the incidents in this race. So on the first lap, I touched on it a little bit in the beginning, but Carlos Sainz, he hydroplaned, he crashed. Pretty scary scenario, to be honest. So he hit the wall, and then he hit the wall and he bounced back out to the point where his car was kind of half on the track. And
which is where it gets real spooky.
Right. So it's and the thing is, it's right on the other side of kind of a blind corner, especially with the weather. None of the drivers, there's no way with visibility so low that drivers can see him when they're coming around the corner, and everyone's flying by and just missing him by inches and inches and inches and inches. And I have a video. The one really amazing ththing about the Japanese Grand Prix was there are so many great fan videos of people just on their phone in the stands. I'm going to be popping them up and I'll be showing you too, because it just offers a new perspective on different things that happened. Like this, for example, you can just see these cars that are literally missing signs by inches and inches. And it's just like, if they hit him, like, I don't know, someone's getting seriously hurt. So thank God that he's okay. It could have been really bad. So also, as he hit the wall, you'll see in the videos too, he knocks off this big Rolex advertisement you see.
I saw that in the video.
On the signs, like on the walls, they have the Rolex.
Came kind of close to somebody too, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. So, oh my God, yeah. So Hamilton, like you're watching his onboard, and like all of a sudden you just see this like like black like something like just like fly right by him. You're like, holy shit! And then you watch the other video, like I don't know. So he almost gets wrecked by this advertisement thing, and then it ends up on the front of Gasly's car, like on top of his front wing. So
which was the debris we referenced earlier in the
yes. So this causes obviously a safety car, and Gasly. So this is where Gasly comes back in. We kind of alluded to this earlier. So
where a lot of the anger comes from.
Safety car gets called, right? Gasly's kind of behind the pack. He's trying to catch up under the safety car, not having a great race anyway. He had to start from the pit lane due to something being replaced on his car. So yeah, it wasn't shaping up for it to be a great weekend for him anyway, but unfortunately it ended up being a really like dangerous weekend. So they kept calling it a tractor for us Americans.
It's a crane.
It's a crane, something they use to pick up the car and remove it from off the track. There was a crane on the track removing Sainz's car while all of the cars were driving past this crane. And again, thanks to fan footage, I'll show that again. And then there's an onboard where you see Gasly. He's speeding up in the rain trying to catch up to the pack. So, he's obviously bunched up when everything resumes. He's speeding up, catching up to the pack, and he flies by this tractor. Tractor's right on the racing line, too. So he, flies right by this tractor. It could have been the worst situation possible.
And I don't know if you want to touch on the...
Yeah, so...
It's just crazy. It was reminiscent of one of the craziest things to ever happen in F1.
Yeah, and in 2014, there was a driver named Jules Bianchi. He died in a wreck in this same manner where there was a crane on the track or a tractor in
similar conditions.
Yeah, and it was a horrible weekend for the FIA, and this was by far the worst part. All the drivers, including even team principals like Christian Horner, were posting on social media saying this is completely unacceptable. There needs to be investigations and whatnot. And I saw someone. I stole this from someone on Twitter. I don't know who it was, but they said it comes down to this: either the FIA let them out on track while the cars were still out, or they had no control over whether the crane was going on the track or not. You know what I mean?
It's one of the two.
They didn't have control. So it's scary, super scary situation, super unfortunate situation. And it was a bad weekend for the FIA, for sure. Moving on a little bit, kind of towards the end of the race now. So like I said, there's major rain delays, kind of painted the picture for you. And then after two hours plus of not racing, we were back. And we had to think about 30 plus laps, 35 laps, something like that. And right at the end, Alonso and Vettel had an amazing battle, literally wheel to wheel. And they didn't even show it. They didn't show it on the broadcast. They didn't show it on the highlights. It's just insane. I don't know how they missed it. I don't know what happened, but I definitely wanted to mention that. And I'll pull up a video too. I posted it on TikTok and Instagram, I think. But it's awesome. The battle is awesome. You'll have to go watch it. Because like I said, the video has the team radio that they're talking to. So they're like, oh, you have loads of energy, use your energy, or this is the last lap, push. It's a really cool radio call. But I can't believe they didn't show it. Kind of crazy.
I can't believe that either.
Yeah.
It's just a fumble on their part, but...
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so then, obviously the big news in Japan, coming out of Japan, is that Max secured the Drivers' Championship.
In the most anticlimactic way possible.
Literally. So this is I literally have written bone to pick with FIA, because I'll get into it in a second, but it's just, like you said, it was so anticlimactic.
He's asking, are you sure?
Yeah. He didn't even know. They get out of the cars. They're doing the interviews. F1, Formula One verified accounts are literally posting on social media that the championship is going to have to wait until Austin, yada, yada, yada. And, first of all, it'd be really cool if it was in Austin. Yeah.
That would be really cool.
But, so they had no idea. Sorry, I should probably back up a little bit. The race was obviously shortened due to the rain delay. And they couldn't make a decision on whether they were going to award full points for the race or not. So everyone's saying, we don't know why they couldn't figure this out, blah, blah, blah. And it's I don't know either, but I don't understand. And I don't have a clear understanding of the rules.
But the FIA should.
They should.
They should have the most clear and concise understanding of the rules.
Right. And how aren't these rules better established? So a little history.
It's not like F1's new.
Right. Last year, there was in Spa, it was the shortest race of all time. It was I don't know, less than a lap or whatever. But they revised these rules to kind of, I don't know, I guess fix it. I'm not exactly sure what happened in Spa. But the rules are a little bit new, maybe a little bit tweaked or whatnot. But they should have a very good understanding of the rules. And they had 30 plus laps of racing to figure out how many points are going to be awarded. Like I said, we've been very candid about it. We haven't been watching this our whole lives or anything like that. But I don't know. This just seems to be the only sport where there's so many gray areas. There's too many controversies. This is just kind of getting ridiculous at this point.
Yeah.
In all reality. But like I said, they had 30 laps of racing to figure out how many points to award. And I do have a little theory. I was kind of mentioning it to you a little bit before. I was just kind of thinking last night. It's so obviously Michael Masi got fired last year. New race director. They have two. Right. They have two race directors now. The FIA, new people in charge. I think, honestly, they're super afraid to make any race deciding decision in real time.
Well, last year was a perfect example of why they should be, honestly.
Right. I mean,
it's reasonable fear.
Right. Last year, like I said, like you just said, totally freaked him out. it showed them that if you make a decision where there's enough controversy, you will be fired. I get it. A lot of people are going to be mad that I like whatever. Oh, it should have been this way. It should have been that way. Whatever. I'm just saying it showed these new race directors that if they make a decision that is controversial enough, you're just going to be fired.
Which is a really cowardly escape on the
100%.
part. Like that's like such a pass blame on somebody else. It's this guy's fault. We'll get rid of him and people will be happy.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
there's a deeper issue if that's the
100%
the resolution that you guys are coming to.
One other point I want to make about these race directors too is there's 2 race directors, not one. This is something new they did this year, and I don't see anybody talking about this, and it's crazy.
It's got to be to help them make decisions that are less controversial, like 2 people being able to kind of figure out the best solution, yet why is it still...
But like, so I guess I read up on it a little bit last night because I wasn't sure. They do work on an alternating basis. So,
okay.
But like, I don't know. Don't you think that like one captain should steer the ship? Like,
oh, well, yeah.
I don't know. Like there should be one person making...
car doesn't have 2 steering wheels.
Like, yeah, right. There should be one person making decisions on a consistent basis.
One person should be making the calls to keep everything consistent, the same, and give us some kind of structure and a format that you can follow for years to come.
What we should expect as far as how things are run. Because
it was making sense.
This could explain any like inconsistencies we see from race to race too. Because like I said, I don't see anybody talking about the dual race director thing, and I thought it was stupid to begin with.
What other sports league or division has 2 commissioners like Roger Goodell and
No, it's Roger Goodell. He makes the decisions.
Like that's
Dana
what I'm
White
saying.
makes the decisions.
Jay Monahan, the PGA. Like there's not.
Right. Exactly.
I don't know. There's obviously boards for all those things that might help, but the F1 still has boards as well, and there's just 2 directors, which
committees out the ass for everything. Yeah. Entire committees.
People getting paid hundreds of thousands to answer a couple questions a year.
But getting back to this theory a little bit, I think I seriously think that these new race directors and the FIA in general are just scared to make a real-time decision that's going to decide the race. Because last year, obviously, it was nothing like the Formula One world has ever seen before. But it really showed everybody that, you make a controversial decision and your job might be on the line.
It's not a good look.
And to back it up even more, I have 2 things. The same thing happened last week with Checo in Singapore. They couldn't make a decision on the safety car penalty. Apparently, Checo was too far back. It seemed like something that could be pretty cut and dry. He was this far back. He should get this penalty, whatever.
Yeah.
They had to wait till after the race was over. They had to consult with the different teams. It made no sense. They're doing this with the cost cap situation. We'll do another video on that because that is its whole other video. But they're delaying it. They announced the decision, but not the punishment. They're like terrified to make decisions. Craziest thing. The Formula 1, Formula 2, Formula 3, and W Series championships were all won this year with the driver outside of the car and not racing. All the championships were decided with outside of the race. You can decide for yourself. I don't know. I think it's ridiculous. I think the FIA had the worst weekend I've ever seen.
Definitely the worst weekend of the past 2 years.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. The past 2 years when we've been really closely following, it was unacceptable. One thing I wanted to touch on, the W Series unfortunately announced that their season will be ending early due to financial issues. Jamie Chadwick, who is like the GOAT of women's racing, currently, I guess. Not too up on women's racing, not gonna lie, but she's like, she won her 3rd championship, I guess, this year. She was crowned champion, and I guess W Series is confident that they'll be able to resume next year. So if they have to end early to preserve next year's season, I just hope they're able to figure out the financial issues that they're having so they can continue racing.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, as far as the Japan Grand Prix goes, that's about all I have. Max is your 2022 world champion.
Very different from last year's.
Very different. I saw some
kind of funny how different it is, actually.
I saw some tweet where it was like, we went from like, oh my God, Max won the world championship to, I think he won. Does he need an extra point? I don't know. Whatever. I think he won.
It's literally like it went from Max won ! To Max won ?
Question mark. Literally.
Just flip it.
And the question mark, unfortunately, will still remain because we don't know what's going on with this cost cap thing. So that's a different video. I won't get into it. You got anything else for as
No,
far
I
as the
think
Japan
that's pretty
Grand Prix
much it.
goes? Yeah, so congratulations to Max. He is the world champion. He's the best driver on the grid. He deserves to be the world champion. And yeah, really appreciate you guys watching. Tune in next time.
Yeah, make sure to check out the Soft Compound on Twitter, Instagram, and stay tuned for episode 3 coming soon. And I'm assuming that's probably going to be about the cap issues with
that'll do the
Red
budget.
Bull.
Yeah, that'll be the
and-
budget cap for sure.
For sure.
Yeah, I got another bone to pick with that one. So
Stay tuned, guys.
Yeah, talk to you later. Really appreciate it. Peace out.